The NFL is just around the corner, and we'd be lying if we said we weren't excited. It's going to be one exciting ride, and this season has just the right amount of spice to keep us on the edge of our seats. While we're on this topic, we have some deets about Sammy Watkins and his role in the upcoming season that we'd like to share with you. Without further ado, let's dive right in. To start with, let's have some background. Sammy Watkins began training camp on the non-football injury list, had only a few standout moments in practice, and did not play a single preseason game snap. This was presumably because the Green Bay Packers were already certain he'd not only be on their roster to begin the regular season, but that he'd be a key player for their offense. Quite a bold choice, don't you think? Much of the attention this summer was focused on the team's three rookie wideouts: Romeo Doubs, the fourth-round pick, who was the camp standout; Christian Watson, a second-round pick who battled back from offseason knee surgery that landed him on the PUP list; and Samori Toure, the seventh-round pick whose late push earned him a spot on the 53-man roster. But now that the regular season has arrived, it's clear Watkins will be at the top of the receiver rotation, along with, of course, the veterans Lazard and Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers says this with authority, and we love to see it. That means Watkins will be on the field if the Packers start in a three-receiver set against the Minnesota Vikings in their season opener at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Coming up, here's Aaron Rodgers' side of things. Rodgers explained that they've got to use their 11 best and not wait around on rookie receivers once the season starts. The plan is to work these guys in spots where they feel most comfortable. But the legendary way that Sammy plays, of course, he deserves to be in the first group. And same is the case with Cobb and Allen. When the Packers signed Watkins to a one-year whopping $1.85 million prove-it contract this spring, he was only guaranteed $350,000 of that total, his signing bonus. Sometimes we wonder where we went wrong. We'd love to receive bonuses like that, but get this, that's mere pennies in the high-stakes NFL. So it wasn't nearly enough of an investment to guarantee Watkins a roster spot. Clearly, the Packers and Rodgers saw enough from Watkins during 2 mandatory minicamp practices in June and roughly 24 training camp practices to believe he can revive his career and contribute to their offense. Midway through camp, offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich said that Watkins' development has been fun to watch. Every day he'd show up and take the next step. He is ecstatic about Sammy, and so are we. The player had his best practices, according to Stenavich and Rodgers, during the team's joint sessions with the New Orleans Saints on August 16 and 17. He's been super reliable, and every practice made a bunch of plays, Rodgers said. Let's follow that up with Watkins' roller coaster of a career. Without a doubt, the player has to do that in games to demonstrate that he's capable of both helping the Packers and erasing the disappointments of his previous stops. Watkins was open about not living up to expectations as the number 4 overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, and about panicking at the start of camp about a hamstring injury that had flared up again. Players and their injuries, right? It's a whole drama on its own. He's also been open about not wanting to let Rodgers down, and he believes that coach Matt LaFleur and wide receiver coach Jason Vrabel, who both coached him elsewhere, can unlock his potential. Now, you might not agree with us, but we believe the right mentors can take you to great heights. The Packers are hoping he's correct. Watkins has only 116 receptions for 1,488 yards and 6 touchdowns in the last 3 seasons, which is less than all-pro receiver Devontae Adams. 123 receptions for 1,553 yards and 11 touchdowns in the 2021 season before being traded to Las Vegas. Watkins' 2 best seasons in recent years came in 2017 with the Los Angeles Rams and offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur. He finished last season with the Baltimore Ravens with career lows in receptions and receiving yards. Now it's up to Watkins to show not only that he has plenty left in the tank, but also that he's deserving of the playing time and pass-catching opportunities that Rodgers sees for him. We believe in you, Sammy. We're going to wrap up this conversation with some latest snippets of conversation from the man himself. According to Watkins, as a wideout, every day you're looking to not be on that screen, messing up or doing something you shouldn't be doing. He thinks that what's going to bring the best out of him is Rodgers' standard and what he wants out of them. If he can continue to be scared going into practice, making sure he does the right things, we believe his game and level of play will be even better. Watkins said that Rodgers is very particular about certain things and that you are supposed to follow them down to the wire. Remember, folks, the rules are there for our benefit. Watkins thinks he's stacked good days on top of good days, but that he's still not there. He further added, and we quote, "It's about doing the little things and the details the right way to where, if a critical situation comes up, I'm going to do it right and make that play, the way Aaron Rodgers and the coaches coach it." Now here's some other news that might interest you. First up, here's what people with too much time on their hands are up to. According to survey results released Wednesday by the American Gaming Association, a whopping 46.6 million Americans plan to, get this, bet on the NFL NFL this season, which is up 3% from last year. Talk about not knowing what to do with your money. There's a housing crisis going on, people. As the NFL season begins on Thursday, 31 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico have legalized sports betting, and a few more are planning to enter the fray in the coming months. California voters will decide whether to legalize sports betting in the state in November. According to the AGA, more than $50.4 billion has already been wagered on sports with American sportsbooks in 2022. In late August, Morning Consult conducted a survey of 2,210 Americans on behalf of the AGA. According to the survey results, 23 million American adults plan to bet online this season, an increase of 18% from 2021, while 10.6 million plan to bet in person. Furthermore, 13% of NFL bettors say they will use an unlicensed bookmaker this season, a 2% decrease year over year. According to the survey, betting with bookies is 50% higher in states where sports betting is not legal. So are you going to bet? You could tell us. We don't judge. Next up, who's ready for a little story time? Calvin Johnson and his classmates were given an assignment in 4th or 5th grade. They were simply asked what they wanted to do with their lives. Johnson, who went on to become one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history and a 2021 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee, did not respond with, "I want to be a professional football player." Instead, he recalled saying something to the effect of, "Help the masses." Don't we all want to do the same? But Johnson has been true to this. He chose to spend one summer designing and building solar latrines to improve sanitation in Bolivia, over assisting with designs for environmentally friendly luxury condos less than a mile from campus. In 2008, following his rookie season in the NFL, Johnson used his education and platform to establish the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation. The organization hosts a leadership conference, football camps, and a mentorship program for at-risk youth in Atlanta and Detroit, as well as assisting the needy. Way to go, Calvin. We all wish to be a little more like you. Lastly, here's the latest on Sanders. In his 12 NFL seasons, Emmanuel Sanders reached 3 Super Bowls and won 1. He's leaving the game satisfied with his accomplishments. Sanders announced his retirement from the NFL on Instagram on Wednesday, mentioning that he had one hell of a ride. Sanders was drafted in the 3rd round by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2010 and steadily improved as a secondary target before blossoming as a productive receiver opposite Antonio Brown. In 2013, he set a career high in receiving yards, catching 67 passes for 740 yards and 6 touchdowns. Brown finished that season with 110 catches for 1,499 yards and 8 touchdowns, proving Sanders was a number 1 receiver. Sanders reached the summit with the Broncos, his favorite team. It was no surprise that he chose to retire while being a member of that family. We wish him the very best for his future. That's a wrap. Let us know in the comments below what you think of Sammy Watkins and the upcoming season. Are you excited? Hit like and click that subscribe button, and we'll be back with another video. Bye.